Okay, now I'm going to give you some key points to try to remember as you're doing your acupressure treatments. So first of all, try to move from the top of the head to the bottom of the feet, going from left to right as you do the treatments. Also, when you apply pressure, try to apply pressure at a constant force and don't stop applying pressure while you're in a specific point. Also, you may not experience benefits immediately. It may take a number of weeks before you see benefits with this acupressure formula. And finally, remember if you do experience a sharp pain, please stop the treatment and use less pressure. So the first point that we're going to do is the point that's in between your eyebrows. Do you remember where that one was located?
Is it right here?
Yep, that's pretty good. And you're doing the fingers correctly. Now go ahead and apply pressure and move in a circular clockwise and counterclockwise direction. Yes, that's good. And if you go clockwise enough that you're tired of going clockwise, then reverse and go counterclockwise. So try to do evenly both directions if you can. Now you're kind of coming up a little bit. You want to come down below right between the eyebrows. Yep, there you go. So it's very easy to do when you do acupressure. It's easy for your fingers to kind of move around and not be in the right location. So just try to stay centered if you can. Do you feel any sensation?
I do. It's a little achy.
Good. You'll be surprised that 3 minutes seems a lot longer than you think it would seem. So basically the two main things that people forget to do is they do the wrong location or they don't apply enough pressure. So usually if you're not stimulating it correctly, you've either not found the right location or you're not applying the right amount of pressure. So those are two things to always kind of keep in mind.
Okay.
And as I said before, if you can find a convenient time during your day to do this acupressure treatment, then you can incorporate it into your daily schedule, and then you won't forget and you'll be able to do it every day. Do you have any questions?
Oh, no, thank you.
Now after this one you'll have a red mark on your forehead, but the red mark will go away. Okay, that's 3 minutes. You can stop. Great. Now we're going to be doing point 2, which is located behind the ears.
Okay.
Do you remember how to find that point?
I know you want to go behind your ear.
Yep.
And find the bump.
Yep. So you'd find the bone. So go ahead and rotate your head just a little bit. Yeah. So you find the bone that's right behind the ear, this ridge. You feel that and you track it down to where it's right behind the earlobe. And there's a indentation in your bone right there. So it's right in here. Okay? So go ahead and start applying pressure. How are you feeling?
Feels good.
Good. You've got an achy sensation?
Yes.
So for this one, if your thumb gets tired, you can also use your index finger or your middle finger, on the point, just like that, great. Okay, go ahead and stop that side, and we're going to move over to the left side now, okay? And again, can you find the point for me? So it's, and then you track it down, and just right here, just a second. It's right here. So you want to press right up in there, like that. You feel that?
Yes.
Good. Yeah, and it's good to brace it with your other finger. That's a good approach. Gives you more strength to back up the pressure. So you want to try to maintain an even amount of pressure so that if you get the achy sensation, to try to maintain that achy sensation all the way through if you can. Do the points feel differently to you? Like the points on the hand and the feet?
Each one gives a little different feeling.
Yeah. Yep, and if the fingers get tired, you can use your thumb. And remember, you can do acupressure lying down if you want to, if you find it more comfortable, or you can do it in a chair, sitting up like you're doing now. Just basically the most comfortable place you can find to do it, and that you can stay awake while you're doing it too. Okay, that completes point 2. All right. Brad, now we're going to learn point 3, okay?
Okay.
All right, so if you could take your hand and rotate it like that, perfect. Now, do you remember where the point was located when I asked you before?
Is it right on the end of your wrist there?
Correct, yeah. You want to find the lateral side of your hand, and it's right where the crease is. So you want to find the pinky side of the hand, and it's right where the crease meets there. So go ahead and apply pressure. It looks like you've got it done correctly. And you want to brace the bottom with your fingers on the other side of your wrist. That's great. And it looks like you're applying the right amount of pressure because your fingernail is turning white, so that's great. So this point is kind of interesting in that there's a little tendon. I don't know if you can see it on yours, but on your arm you'll find a little tendon right here. And when you're applying pressure, you're kind of applying it over the tendon, although the point's actually underneath it. So the point's actually underneath this tendon here on your hand. So if you just apply pressure straight on that, you can get it if you move it in a clockwise and counterclockwise direction. All right?
Okay. Does it matter how fast I rotate?
You don't want to rotate too fast. I would do a cycle every half second or second if you could. That would make sense. Do you feel any sensation with that?
I do.
Good. Now, all of the points can feel differently for different people, and even within a person, the points can feel differently. So for example, this one might have a different sensation than the point in between your eyebrows or the points on your legs. So that's always important to remember. Now it looks like your thumb's getting a little bit over to the medial side, or the center side. You want to make sure that it's lateral. Yep, okay. Like on the edge right there. Yep. You don't want it to move into here. You want it to be on the side. Great. Is your finger getting tired?
It is.
It is, yeah. So that's another thing that people often find is that when you do acupressure treatments for a half an hour, your hands and fingers might be getting tired. So if you want to, you can use a device, like we recommend using a pencil eraser, using a pencil with an eraser, and putting the pencil eraser on the point and then pressing down, not moving back and forth with the eraser, but actually just pressing straight down and rotating. And that can be helpful as well. And that can give your fingers a break. Okay, Brad, that's it for the right side. Okay. Now what we're going to do is we're going to do your left side, okay? So can you find the point again? The lateral side, yep, the pinky side, right where the crease meets the hand. That's good, go ahead. Switching from right to left side also gives your hands somewhat of a break as well. So like I was saying, as you move from the top of the head to the bottom of the feet, if you stimulate one side, then the next side you can have more relaxation for your hand. So it gives your hand a break. lateral side. Yep. Try not to move too much to the middle. You want to try to stay on the side as much as you can, like that. Yep. Yep. It's easy on this point to have your finger kind of relax and go to the middle, but you want to actually stay on the side as much as you can. Okay, Brad. That does point 3, okay? You've done point 3 on both sides. Brad, now we're going to do point 4. And remember, point 4 is located on the lower part of your leg. Do you remember how to find that point?
You lay your hand on the bone there on your ankle,
Mm-hmm.
and then it should be right there.
Exactly, yeah. And remember, this is your shin bone, basically. You don't want to be on the shin bone. You want to be right on the edge, sort of right on the edge of it. So not on the bone, but on the edge where there's muscle. All right. So go ahead and start applying pressure. Good. So for this point, it's pretty critical to have these fingers bracing the lower part of the leg so that you can pinch with your thumb. That's a very powerful way of stimulating this point. For most of the points, if you can use your thumb to actually apply the pressure, then that's best because your thumb has the most strength. And you basically just use your other fingers to sort of balance the other part of the body so you can get a good pinch in there. Now, obviously, if you have like an injury on any part of the body where you might be trying to apply pressure, you want to avoid it. So like if you've got a bruise, or you've got a cut or a scab, or you have a chronic problem with that specific area where the point's located, I recommend that you avoid that point and just don't do that one on that side. Just do the other side. Or if it's on both sides, then just skip that point and go on to the next one, because we don't want to exacerbate any conditions that you already have ongoing. Is that okay?
Okay.
Do you have any questions?
Does still look like the right spot?
Yeah, that does look good. That looks good. Yeah, when you pinch with your fingers on the other side, that keeps your thumb from moving around. Like you can imagine if you were just applying just pressure with the thumb without pinching at all, this thumb could slide around. So it's good to use your whole hand. And remember I said if you want to use a device like a pencil with an eraser, you can use the pencil and basically press down on the point with the pencil and move it around. That's another good way of stimulating acupressure points. Okay, Brad. So that's it for that side. Now why don't we switch over to your left leg, okay?
Okay.
Now I'm going to let you find the point.
Okay.
See if you can remember.
So you lay your hand on your ankle?
Now remember, you want it to be, this is the circular part of the bone, so you want to put the finger right on the middle of the circle. Okay. Yep, that's good right there. Yep.
And you find it right here?
Yep, you got it.
And you feel just past the shin bone?
Right, it's right on the edge. Okay. So if you notice this part here, this is where your shin bone is, but right here is where it ends. So you want to go right where it ends. Okay. And you're not on the bone, you're sort of on the muscle and next to it. Okay. Yep, that's good. And remember, you can change directions from one side to the next, right? You should try to do evenly on both sides, this same number clockwise as counterclockwise if you can, just to give it a balanced treatment. Remember, we were saying you might not experience immediate relief of your pain. You want to try to do acupressure for a number of weeks, and it may take a little while before the effects to set in, if the effects do set in. So don't get discouraged if on the first day nothing happens for you. Okay, Brad, that does it for point 4. Brad, now we're going to move on to point 5, which is the point that's on your feet. Do you remember how to find that point?
I know you find the area between your big toe and your index toe.
Yep. And then what you want to do is you want to follow that up this way just a little bit till you get a hole, an indentation, and that's the point. Can you feel that indentation?
I can.
All right. Go ahead and go for it. So this is another one of those points where it's key for your fingers that are on the bottom of your feet to sort of brace your thumb, which is pressing from the top, to get that really good pinch, because the point's located deep in the foot, deep underneath the thumb, actually. It's not located just on the skin. A lot of these points are located deep in the body. Acupressure points aren't just located on the skin. You have to go deep in to get them. How does this one feel?
It hurts a bit.
This one is one of the more sensitive points. Like I was saying before, not all of the points feel the same on an individual person, and also between people, you can have variation in the sensation of a specific point. But in general, you have a dull, achy sensation or maybe a warmth. Sometimes you can get an electrical sensation where it propagates along the body. So that's another kind of sensation that's okay to have. Just no sharp stabbing pain. And if your left hand gets tired, what you can also do is switch to your right hand. Okay. And basically, yeah, you can do it that way, or you can go underneath like that if you can. To give your hand a break if you want to. So that's okay to switch hands on a specific point. Don't just stop a point in the middle of the stimulation. Okay, Brad, that does it for the right foot. Okay. Now, some people have a little difficulty getting to their feet. So one thing you might want to try to do, and we're going to do it on this point, is to put your left foot on a stool, if you can find one in your house. And this time we're going to use a pencil. And what I want you to do is to try to find the point with your finger if you can. And then a little bit up there, yep. And then place the pencil right on that point. Now what you want to do is you want to apply pressure down, and you want to kind of rotate if you can. Good. So obviously what you want to avoid with this is the actual movement of the pencil on the skin, because if you actually move back and forth with the pencil, you can kind of erase your skin and cause a burn. So you don't want to do that. So you want to keep the point in a specific place and try to keep the point from moving. Do you feel a sensation with this at all?
I do.
Okay, good. Is it a little bit different than with the fingers?
It feels a little bit stronger.
A little stronger? Okay. Good. I mean, and you can experiment with these. If you feel like using the pencil eraser gives a better sensation for you, you can certainly do that. Another thing you can do is if you feel like you're not quite on the point and you get a stronger sensation if you move your pressure in one direction or the other, you can go ahead and do that, because most likely the point where you get the strongest sensation is the actual acupressure point. Now also, if you're going to use a device to stimulate the point, you want to make sure that it's blunt on the end that's applying the pressure, because if it's pointed, it's going to give you a sharp pain, and that's what you want to avoid, right?
Right.
Do you find it easier to stimulate the point with the stool for this one?
Makes it a little easier to reach.
Okay, Brad, that's it. You've stimulated all of your points for the full 30 minutes, and you can go about doing whatever else you were doing.
Great.
All right, thank you.